The Hound of Heaven by Francis Thompson. I fled him down the nights and down the days. I fled him down the arches of the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways. Oh, my mind, and in the midst of tears, I hid from him, and under running laughter, up vista hopes I sped, and shot perpetuated, down titanic glooms of chasm fears, from those strong feet that followed after, but with unhurrying chase, and unperpetuated pace, deliberate speed, majestic intimacy. They beat, and with a voice beat, more instant than defeat. All things betrayeth thee. Who betrayeth me? I pleaded, outlaw-wise, by many a hearted casement, curtailed, red, trellised with entwining charities. For though I knew his love who followed, yet was I sore adread, least having him I must have naught beside. But if one little casement parted wide, the gust of his approach would close it to. Fear which not to evade, as love which to pursue. Across the margins of the world I fled, and troubled the gold gateways of the stars, smitten for shelter on their clanged bars, fretted to dulcet jars, and silver and chatter the pale ports o' the moon. I said to dawn, be sudden, to eve, be soon. With thy young sky bosoms heap me over, from thy tremendous lover. Float thy vogue veil about me, lest he see me. I tempted all his servitude, but to find my own betrayal in their consistency, in faith to him, their fickleness to me, their traitorous trueness, their loyal deceit. To all swift things for swiftness did I sue, clung to the whistling mane of every whim, and whither they speed smoothly fleet the long savannas of the blue, or whither, thunder-driven, they clash their chariot towards the heaven. Plishy thy flying lightnings round the spurn of their feet. Fear least not to evade as love which to pursue. Still with unhurrying chase and unperpetuated pace, deliberate speed, majestic intimacy, came on the following feet, and a voice above their beat, naught shelters thee, who will not shelter me. I sought no more that after which I strayed, in face of man or maid, but still within the little children's eyes seemed something that replies, they at least are for me, surely for me. I turned me to them very wistfully, but just as their young eyes grew sudden fair, with dawning answers there, their angel plucked them from me by the hair. Come then, ye other children, nature's share. With me, I said, your delicate fellowship. Let me greet you lip to lip, let me twine you caresses, wantoned, with our Lady Mother's vagrant tresses bequeathing. With her in her wind-walled palace, underneath her azure days, quaffing as their taintless way is from a chalice, lucent weeping out of the day-spring. So it was. I with the delicate fellowship was one, drew the bolt of nature's secrecies. I knew all the swift importings on the wilful face of skies. I knew how the clouds arise, spooned of the wild sea snortings, all that bore or dies, rose and drooped with, made them sharpers. Of mine own moods, or wailful or divine, with them joyed and was bereaven. I was heavy with the eve, when she lit her glimmering tapers round the day's dead sanctities. I laughed with the morning's eyes, I triumphed and I saddened with all weather. Heaven and I wept together, and its sweet tears were salt with mortal mine. Against the red throb of its sunset heart I laid my own to beat, and share comingly heat. But not by that was eased my human smart. In vain my tears were wet on heaven's grey cheek. For we know not what each other says. These things and I, in sound I speak. Their sound is but the stir, they speak by silences. Nature, poor step dam, cannot slack my draught. Let her, if she would owe me. Drop ye blue bosom veil of sky, and show me the breast of her tenderness. Never did any milk of hers once bless my thirsting mouth. Nigh and nigh draws the chase, with unperpetuated pace, deliberate speed, majestic infancy. They pass those noisy feet. A voice comes yet more fleet. Lo, naught contents these, who contentest not me? Naked I wait thy love's uplifted stroke. My harness piece by piece thou hast hewed from me, and smitten me to my knee. I am defenceless utterly. I slept, methinks, and awoke, and slowly gazing found me stripped in sleep, in the rash lusted headed of my young powers. I shook the pillowing hours. I pulled my life upon me. Grim with smears, I stand amidst the dusk, the mounted years. My mangled youth lies dead beneath the heap. My days have crackled and gone up in smoke, have puffed and burst at sun smarts on the stream. Yet failed me now even dream, the dreamer and the lute of the lutanist, even the linked fantasies in whose bosomy twist I swung the earth a trinket at my risk, are yielding chords of all too weak account, for earth with heavy grief so overpulsed. Is thy love indeed a weed amidst an amaranthine weed, suffering no flowers except its own to mount? Must designer infinite, must thou char the wood ere thou canst linst with it? My freshness spent its wavering shower the dust, and now my heart is as a broken fountain, wherein tear dripping stagnant, spilt down ever from the draught thoughts that shiver upon the sighful branches of my mind. Such is what is to be. The pulp so bitter, how shall taste the rind? I dimly guess what time in midst the confounds, yet ever and anull a trumpet sounds from the hid battlements of eternity, though shaken midst a space unsettled. Then round the half-glimpsed torrents slowly washed again, but not him who surmounteth I first have seen in wound, with glooming robes purpureal, cypress crowned. His name I know, and what his trumpet saith, whether man's heart or life it be that yields thee harvest, must thy harvest fields be dung with rotten death. Now of that long pursuit comes on at hand thy brute. That voice is round me like a bursting sea, and is thy earth so marred, shattered in shard on shard? Lo, all things fly thee, for thou fliest me. Strange, piteous, futile thing, wherefore should any set thee love apart, seeing none but I makes much of naught? He said, the human love needs human meriting. How hast thou merited? Of all man's clotted clay the dingiest clot, alack, thou knowest not. How little worthy of any love thou art. Whom wilt thou find to love ennobly thee? Save me, save only me. All which I took from thee I did but take, not for thy harms, but just that thou mightest seek it in my arms. To which thy child's mistake, fancies as lost I have stored for thee at home. Rise, clasp my hand, and come. Halts by me that footfall. Is all my gloom after all shade of his hand outstretched caressingly? Fondest, blindest, weakest, I am he whom thou seekest. Thou dravest love from thee, who dravest me. End of The Hound of Heaven by Francis Thompson, read by Peter John Paresis.